and systems of mutual support. And if you black and you enslaved, you in the family, and here's your role. Here's your formal role on the plantation, your work, but here's your informal role within the community. You're the nursemaid, you're the watcher, you do watch out, you clean. So there was a whole community and structure that allowed us to survive conditions that drove other people to utter extinction. The greatest thing about the black family was not that there was a mother and a father. The greatest thing about the black family that it was adaptable. It was adaptable. Like John Henry Clark said, there was no word for orphanage in African country because nobody threw children away. There was no word for old folks home or retirement home because nobody threw elders away. And we brought that here. If you don't make your cotton quota, even white folks wrote about it. African people putting their cotton in somebody else's satchel so everybody make their quota and nobody get beat. And we gave that up, mimicking and imitating white people. Black men want to thump their chest and be a white man and I'm the king of my castle. And black women want to be the June cleaver and tie on a bonnet and, and be the delicate stay-at-home wife. Under genocidal oppression. Maybe we can play those games. We can define whatever type of family structure we want when we're liberated. But we go from survival to resistance to liberation. That's a whole different standard for us. We can't mimic white people. And that's where we fucked up. Individualism, materialism, consumerism. That ain't my kid, ain't my problem. I can count how many fucks I give. 0. All that shit came straight out of their culture, out of their asili, their germ seed, their predispositions, their collective mentality. So it wasn't that immorality, or the black man didn't want to be, or the black woman is not feminine enough. It is, we failed to properly adapt. We gave up our assets. We surrendered our assets for false benefits. Job, school, money, opportunity, entrepreneurialism, individualism. I gotta tell you something else about black people though. Because it's like, oh, black family, all families are collapsing under capitalism. If you don't understand capitalism from a radical perspective, let me tell you something, black people, stop hating on Marx. Marx was the biggest snitch in history. How can you have an oppressor and a member of the group of the oppressor says, I'm going to explain to you what my people do, what motivates them, why they do it, and what will be the ultimate outcomes of if they continue to do this. Marx is a snitch. I don't understand why black people hate Marx so much. I think it's because they don't read them. If you really listen, I don't like the system, I don't like these people, and I want to somehow challenge or subvert or at least avoid the worst outcomes of these people, and you're not going to read the dude who told all their business, why do you think white people hate Marx so much and taught you to hate him too? Like I said, the worst thing, calling someone a Marxist is like the N-word for white people. If a white man calls you the N-word, don't call him a Marxist. Ooh, I keep telling y'all, man, you want to hurt a white man. You want to hurt a white man. You want to hurt him you want to hit him where it ain't no greater slur. Honky cracker, white devil, they don't care. Call him a Marxist. Just, if you don't believe me, just try the experiment. The next time, if a white guy cuts you off in traffic, flips you off, if you're at a ball chasing game, baseball, basketball game, white dudes being rowdy, tossing popcorn and beer, just next time you have any type of minor conflict with the white dude, and you don't want to use violence to defend yourself, you want to take a jab at him, call a white man a Marxist. They hate that shit. But anyway, where was I? Oh, black people, we are the canaries in the coal mines of America. Since Reconstruction, whatever happens to us eventually happens to white people because it is systemic. The shit that happens to us comes from the top down. But we are the canaries in the coal mine. We are the canaries. So everything that happens to us eventually gets to white people. And that's when they figure it out. So when it's happening to us, it's because we're immoral, it's because our women ain't good, it's because our men ain't no good, because we trash. But then when it happens to white people, oh, we have to figure this out. It's systemic, it's societal. And I don't mind white people doing this because that's who they be. That's just how they are. What bothers me is that we do it. We do it to ourselves and each other. Everybody knows drug addiction. Remember the crack epidemic? My mother and my father succumbed to crack addiction. My best friend, Rip the Crip, Rip T, what's up? His mother succumbed and overcame. I really admire his mother. She overcame her addiction, became an addiction counselor, and was running like a halfway house for recovering addicts. So there's some good stories, but crack was everywhere. I've lived in a house where crack was being cooked up, cut up, distributed. I had many friends deal crack to our parents, and crack was everywhere. And we were condemned. I had family members who wouldn't allow me and my brother and my sister to play with their kids because our mother was addicted to drugs. So it was a slight and a stain on the whole family. Shame for the whole family. Nobody ever said my mother had a disease. Nobody ever said my mother needed treatment. They were like, she needs to get herself together. And I had affluent members of my family like, you're just making excuses. When I was trying to talk like, well, addiction is a disease. It's not because a moral failing. And they would say, I don't care if they put a mountain of crack in the middle of the community. Nobody forced you to smoke it. Then canaries in the coal mine, crack for black folks. And now white people have an opiate and OD addiction that is 10 times worse than black folks. Now, let me not smile. Let me cover my smile. I'm not smiling under here. Poor white folks. Let me cover my poor white folks. ODing, strung out. They finding white babies in cars with 2 dead white parents. And everybody's like, treatment, alternative remedies, sensitivity, understanding. And so are black. Now black people standing here, the same black people that condemned crackheads, laughed at Dave Chappelle's little crack man jokes and crack man skits. Same people now asking the white man, how come y'all didn't have sensitivity for us? And I ask, why didn't we have sensitivity for us? And also the same thing with the housing crisis. Remember black people, the ghettos, the slums, black folks, poor housing. We don't take care of our property. Our neighborhoods are dilapidated. And now white folks, since 2008, have an ongoing housing crisis. Now white folks' suburbs are hollowed out. The death of the suburbs. You got scholars like James Howard, counselor, talking about the dead malls. All the shopping strips are all hollowed out. So that first the black communities were blighted, and now the white communities are becoming blighted. Canaries in the American coal mine. I even talk about jobs. Black men don't want to work. Black people don't want to work. They're lazy. They're not industrious. They don't have the Protestant work ethic. Black people don't want to work. Remember that? I grew up with that. Black people are poor because they refuse to work. Don't want to put in an honest day's labor. They'd rather sell drugs and shoot dice and get high on reefer. And now what's happening? White kids don't want to work. Gig economy, quiet quitting. Black people for years been like, hey, just do what you got to do to get by. I just do enough to get my check. Don't nobody say nothing to me. I go to work. I do my job. And oh, so you don't have ambition. Of course I don't have ambition. Why would I have ambition in a system that shows that it rewards my ambition with lynching? It rewards my ambition with forcing me to train my replacement. Fuck ambition in this system. But now what are white people? Now they call black people half-assing. When we did it, they said black people don't have ambition. Black people are half-assing. Now white folks doing the exact same thing. Quiet quitting. It's quiet quitting. It's a dignified thing. Now it's dignified to just do as little as you can to get your check and walk out of that place and don't think about it. Because it used to be this concept of a company man. I rep my company. I love my company. I live for my company. And I proudly display the logo of my company. I should go to all the company functions. Company man. That was white folks. Black people, oh, don't have any pride. Don't have a good work ethic. Now it's been flipped. We are everything we go through. Everything we go through is just a preview and a prelude to what white folks about to go through. Police state repression. Remember COINTELPRO? They spying on us. They infiltrating us. COINTELPRO. And white folks are like, you color folks are paranoid. And then here come Edward Snowden. Here come Edward Snowden with fucking terabytes of data showing that white folks is getting spied on by the government. White organizations are being infiltrated. Because first it was black folks, COINTELPRO, and then the war on terror infiltrating the mosque. They're not just in the mosque. They in the Mormon tabernacle. They in the white cathedrals. Then now the state was, when the white folks denied we were being spied on, saying we were paranoid. Now white folks is under greater surveillance than us. For good or for bad. We are do I need to talk about inner city gangs and gun violence, inner city gangs to school shootings? So all this shit y'all talking about, the breakdown in the black family. Guess what? Guess who has some of the highest, most rapidly rising rates of single parent homes? White women. So we just connect. So we get down on ourselves thinking we somehow uniquely bad or uniquely failing. Stop that. First of all, we need to stop measuring and defining family by the nuclear family unit. We need to go back to the multi-generational family unit, or even better, what I see these young people, where they have deliberate families. They deliberately hand select their children. That's what we got to get to. I had a homeboy tell me years ago, he had one of the most dysfunctional families I've ever seen. A horrible, horrible family. And I remember his mother told him, listen, my mama, my brothers, my nieces, your cousin, them people, we from bad people. And the reason I moved you away from them people and brought you over here away from them, and I don't go around them, they some bad people. And he was like, no, you just you're the one bad person. Grandma told me about you. Your sister told me. And he really thought his mother was the one villain. How can everybody be bad? And my mother's the one good person. So anyway, long story short, he went around his family and found out and fell into the very holes that his mother tried to help him avoid. And he came to me and he said, yo, as he got older and went through a lot of horrible things, fucking with people he had no business fucking with, he said there's a big difference between relatives and family. A relative is somebody you're related to. You didn't choose them, and you can't unchoose them. They there, that's blood. But family are people that have common cause, who resonate with you ideologically, socially, culturally, in terms of common mission, shared mission. And so a lot of young people, I even see with my son, is starting to understand you can handpick. And it's funny because the very people, one of the groups of people they say are destroying the family are gays, the LGBTQ, the queers, and the transgender people. They're destroying the family. And what was happening in the 80s, in the 90s, boom bye bye era, bati boy for dead, in that area, many families would violently reject their LGBTQ plus children. And so they would go find places. They would go to parts of town, Boys Town, the Village, San Francisco. They would go places to find safe havens for themselves. And they would start having mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers. And they started constructing families as they were rejected. Don't ever come around here with that sissy stuff. You a lesbian, you want to be a man, go out in the world and be a man. You can't be a man in my house. It's ungodly. And they started the whole deliberately, consciously constructing families. And people would start to fulfill roles as elders and instructors. But now you start to see that we need to do that. From incarceration, a lot of betrayal, treason. We got a lot of treasonous Negroes. And to me, that's the number one. To be a race traitor is the number one way if you want me to disown you. But we got a lot of black people that have disowned us, and we have a lot of black people that need to be disowned. But we need family. We are the most socially dependent primates. I don't know how else to put it. Let me try to put it another. I'll put it scientifically. Africans, human beings, are the most socially oriented and socially dependent primates that have evolved. But I'll say another way: our spirit and our souls need other spirits and souls to have deep-rooted connections to, familial ties. So we need to go back to the communal, multi-generational, and deliberately constructed family unit. The Black family has not been destroyed, but the Black family has maladapted. We have mimicked our oppressor, and the oppressor's nuclear family structure isn't even serving them. So it can't serve us. So we have to stop talking nonsense about trying to achieve the nuclear family model. Because let me tell you what the nuclear family is. The nuclear family is a human resource production unit. The nuclear family exists to create workers to be exploited by capitalists, nothing more. So if you want an offspring that can compete with other offspring who will compete for servitude and exploitation by the capitalist class in hopes of one day becoming an exploiter, you serve the parasite in order to hopefully one day become a parasite, then you go ahead and stick with the nuclear family structure and model. But there's nothing moral, functional, or ethical about it. But we need revolutionary family units to endure oppression, resist oppression, and to ultimately liberate ourselves. And that is what the Black family lost. We didn't lose our morals. We didn't lose our love for each other. We lost our ability, our adaptability. We maladapted. And we keep pushing this maladapted on each other and shaming and trying to push on each other. So the Black family is not doomed. The only thing that will doom the Black family is that we refuse to return to our liberation struggle and enact our liberation struggle. But to tell you the truth, if we fail to do that, not only is the Black family doomed, the human race, humanity is doomed. And I would advise you to go watch my presentation on my YouTube called Black Love is Not Revolutionary, and I explain why Black love, because this is related to the Black family. Maybe I'll try to put it in a bundle. It's like that Black love is not revolutionary, nor should we want it to be. Anyway, I think I've covered enough. This is Bro Diallo Show. Please support. Again, I'm sorry I'm doing this late, 10 hours late. This is not a permanent change. This is just some things I wanted to share for the morning show, but I had some